Hi. I fart in different colors.
Nice.
Your rainbow
This is
farter.
your boy, the franchise player, Double B Bad Blood, joined once again by the mixologist himself, Mr. Chemical Julian, and
That's
that
me.
dude, the chair, Shane Husky. Oh my God! And we got the man, the myth, the legend himself, the one and the only Adam, according to Woods.
They said MMA and pro wrestling could never be combined.
They intersect.
The
They
Maharaja.
intersect.
Wow.
They intersect.
And your
They're
boy,
knocking.
Sunday Center, who always sends, even when it's not Sunday.
trivia
Your
challenge
trivia
champion.
champion.
Thank
Yeah, I'll
you.
put
Give
you
me
over.
my
And again, once
flowers.
again,
We did
I'll
the
put
Scott
you
Hall,
over.
but I don't
I'll
know
put
which
you
way
over.
you are. It's Sunday.
So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the AEW recap, man. And I just gotta say this, and I know I'm probably gonna get a little flack from it, but I don't give two fucks. This show was a lot better than the
Man.
Raw after fucking
Oh, yeah,
Mania,
definitely.
ladies and
That's
gentlemen.
not saying a whole lot.
Absolutely. But then
It's just
again,
like saying Hornswoggle is taller than a person with no legs.
Rey Mysterio?
Actual no legs.
You know,
Wow.
Hornswoggle
From
is
the
like
abdomen.
18 Styles, but littler.
I've seen
Shout out
Tijuana.
to Kelsey Rhino for joining us and for following us. Thank you very much. We love it
Hi,
when we get
Kelsey.
new followers. Shout out to our new followers in the
Get ready for
house.
the craziness of the show. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
But yeah, saying that any show is better than than Monday Night Raw this week is almost like saying, I don't know, I'm less hairy than Chewbacca,
You're
right?
I
feel like-
Shabatas. Is that what you're saying?
I'm
I
less
mean,
hairy than Chewbacca? What?
Oh, he said
100%.
he said Chewbacca. I thought he said
Yeah.
Shabata.
No,
Chewbacca.
I think I'm hairier than Shibata. Jane, don't get any thoughts. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
I've seen Tijuana donkey shows that were more impressive than Monday Night Raw. This past
Exactly.
week,
So, I mean, does the Tijuana Donkey Show have better ratings than AEW Dynamite?
Speaking of Max Muscle,
probably
Speaking
like-
of Max Muscle.
there's like 3,000 people there. It's hard telling.
There you go.
The lights
And
were kinda
that's a
dim.
draw. Fuck
The
it,
light-
Brucey.
you can ask
Hey.
why.
That donkey knew how to work. So
I mean,
Wow.
Yeehaw.
was that working donkey punches or shooting donkey punches?
Wow.
Wow.
a true
Adam, we missed you
professional
on the
never
show,
tells.
man.
A true
Well, look,
professional
let's get
never
into it.
tells.
Let's get into it. Julian, can you tell me what the first thing we saw on AEW Dynamite?
Oh
What's
my
it about?
God, we had this
whose
huge
thing
return
did
to
we
the
first
square
see?
circle of Ricky Starks, absolute Ricky Starks, and waiting for him in the ring was the one, the only, absolutely rock hard Juice Robinson.
Rock
This was
hard.
a classic. 4 stars in the Tokyo Dome, 5 stars in the sex shop on Hollywood Boulevard off of La Cienega. You know what I'm talking about.
That's the pleasure chest.
It was going to be on and cracking. But oh my God,
Who
what
came
happened?
out?
What happened? the people got swerved, and all of a sudden, this guy who's supposed to debut at WrestleMania, according to all the dirt sheets,
According to all the
shows
dirt
up
sheets and the
at
fan federation
AEW
fans.
Dynamite. It is Jay White showing up to help out his buddy Juice Robinson. We got Rock Hard and the Switchblade together in the ring. It was a fabulous reunion.
I got something to say about this.
Husky, what would you name the tag team of Switchblade Jay White and Rock Hard Juice Robinson?
The Rock Hard Switch Up.
I like that.
Wow.
I like that one.
Switching it hard.
Switching rocks.
No, mine will be
Their
White
rocks
Not
are
here in
switched
Maryland.
hard.
I mean, what?
The rocks
Sorry,
are
Maryland.
switched hard. There you go.
Team
Also-
versatile.
I'm going to say this.
The versatile mercantile. Infantile. Erectile.
So yeah, they beat down Ricky Starks,
All the WWE
and they give each other the
Hey,
two
Jay
sweet,
White.
and they're very happy. And wow, Jay White's here, and so is Rock Hard. Juice
So you know
Robinson.
what's funny about this whole thing? The Bullet Club literally is in every fucking promotion right now.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, they're
yes,
always
this is
are.
better than the
They-
click, isn't it?
Yeah, this is yeah. I mean, you got
like
you got
3MB.
you got the Good Brothers over in AEW, in WWE right now. You got AJ Styles, you got Finn Balor. Then you
Who
go
has his
to
own tag team?
AEW. You got Kenny Omega. You got the Bucks. You got fucking Adam Page, and then you got Rock Hard, and you got fucking you got
Not this one.
Switchblade.
I would let me say something also about the Good Brothers being in WWE. Everyone bitches every week about who appears on Dark or Dark Elevation. Oh my God, such great talent. The only way you can see the Good Brothers is by like watching Main Event.
Yeah.
WWE has 5 hours of programming a week, and when do you see the Good Brothers on actual TV? AEW only has 3.
Yeah.
And
Until
so-
they debut
Sinner?
that
So
Saturday
the
show.
Good Brothers are the Colt Cabana of WWE, is what you're saying?
pretty
Yeah.
much.
Oh, yeah,
Only they have their own bank accounts.
I mean, they have the what is it? The Talking Chalk Mania.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a bank account.
I have one answer to that. That's the WWE, and that's why they little bitch about it.
True, Sam.
Pretty
Yeah,
much.
WWE fans are probably
How many-
really upset this week.
How many times have you watched NXT Level Up, Shane Husky?
Never.
Every single week.
Yeah, I've watched it a couple
No,
times.
just
It's
kidding.
not,
I've
it's not
He's
that
honest,
bad.
folks. He's honest.
I only knew it was a show because I was on Hulu.
You were on it
I was on Hulu. Yeah,
against
shit,
Odyssey
You were
Jones
on it?
I could have been main event that night. Shit.
with the Good
I wanna
Brothers
know.
and Odyssey Jones. Apparently,
Who's that one? Oh God, who's the one that dresses like Mabel and does the gay gimmick?
That's
what is it? Scripts.
Quincy
Quincy, yeah.
I
Elliott.
think Quincy,
Quincy Elliott.
Scripts.
Quincy Elliott.
That's
So,
a main,
just-
main eventer right there.
I heard
he's
some pretty
good.
nasty things about
Rich-
Quincy Elliott.
No, he's
Missy
well,
Elliott.
No,
We'll,
Yeah.
we'll talk about that on a WWE podcast. This is
Yeah.
the AEW version right now. So let's get to this whole. So now we got Jay
Who's
White
hard?
and we got Switchblade. I mean, we got Switchblade and we got Juice
Yep.
Robinson
Rock's
invading AEW. Who
And now we go backstage. And we have an interview with the Ayatollah of rock and roller,
His name is Kid
Chris Jericho.
Christopher-
Anyway, Chris Jericho's talking about okay, here's the thing. I don't know if this is supposed to be a babyface or a heel interview. However, Chris Jericho is saying, "Hey, Adam Cole, you went and you beat my dude who I got a lot of respect with. And when you beat him, you know, you were celebrating and your lady came to the ring and there were streamers coming down and you were disrespecting him. So I came out to save him."
Yeah,
You don't
exactly.
seem excited about that, Julian.
No, and then
Where did it go,
Keith
though?
Lee. And then Keith Lee is like,
Oh, the gray hair man.
"Yeah, you know, you're the one creeping around here and got no respect, and I'm gonna teach you about respect next week."
Okay, so can I ask you guys a question?
Yes.
Maybe.
Sure, absolutely.
Where the fuck did Keith Lee come from and start a feud? I mean, it's not even on Rampage. It's not even on fucking. It's not even on
I
one
can
of the
This
answer that.
50
This
YouTube
was Chris
channels.
Jericho spilling a cup of
I
coffee
can-
on Kane.
I can answer your
Yes.
question, Bad Blood. Keith Lee came from wherever the fuck Jericho thought his promo was going. That's where.
Yeah.
It went fucking nowhere. It's parts unknown.
I was gonna say the same thing.
Out there with Papa Shanga and the Warrior, who's haunting his own house.
It was not
in
clear
the
whether
regions.
Jericho was trying to be a face or a heel.
I didn't understand the promo.
And he
I
was
did not
talking
either.
about respect and whatnot. And I was like,
He's a tweaker. I mean, a tweener.
wow. Okay.
First of all, Keith Lee looked like he came from the retirement home.
Yeah,
Yeah,
what
wait.
is this with the full salt and pepper era?
I guess he had
Tony
gray hair.
Khan
Trying to push it?
off the Just for Men budget. So,
Yeah.
you know, they can't do touch-ups in the back.
Keith Lee looked like a guy that leaves milk and cookies for Santa Claus with his grandkids.
Wow.
I feel like that's
Dude,
accurate.
Hey, it made me like him even more because I was like, he looks more and more like me every time.
That's
Like,
racist.
yes, but I mean, if you're supposed to be
I might not shave
okay,
my head.
I
this
put
week,
in Keith Lee's age in the Google machine. He's my age.
Well, you know, Keith Lee has lived a lot of life.
And
He
I
did
guess
wildlife.
Keith Lee had gray hair like way back.
Hey,
then.
man,
Yeah.
He's great
All
and
that-
balding.
all that tells me is that his lady Kim Lee, whatever, is
Mia Yim.
sucker.
Kimchi.
Meet him.
Ladies
He's
and
dating the
gentlemen,
Brooklyn
Sucker.
Those are
Brawlers.
Julia's comments and Julia's comments alone did not reflect those of the Roundtable
Racist.
podcast and our TWM.NEWS.
Hey, Keith Lee's dating the Brooklyn Brawler.
Damn. Already I had to come with a disclaimer. We've been on the air for fucking 12 minutes and I got the disclaimer already out.
Julian just
God
went.
damn.
Hey, that's
Like
a good
that.
thing.
You better be glad the mod ain't on here. The mod be
Hey,
talking
man,
that
I'm really
silly.
28, but my lady be putting in work. You know,
Hey,
Ashley's gonna edit that out.
Keith Lee's sticking the limitness to Kamala's
Yeah,
manager.
you better be glad I put on lotion before I come on the show because I'm usually ashy as fuck.
At least
Oh, speaking of,
Shit, this edition of the Roundtable Pro
Speaking
Wrestling
of-
Podcast been brought to you by Gold Bond, keeping me nice and smooth.
This promotion has been brought to you by Just for Me.
Hey.
Just for Me.
But that's
That's why I'm hydrating right now.
at
hey,
least Julian
grab your
Get
quick
out there,
break.
Bearcat.
at least Julian didn't say like Sonny.
Here we go. The obscenity already. Look at that. The pro.
Do we
The
get
mod-
hit
the
with
mod must
do we
have
get hit with the
Time
warning already?
out.
Come on.
Mom, we're talking about it. It's like 12 minutes, 22 seconds in. We already got
That
the
was
obscenity in
Julian.
there.
I mean,
Time out,
that's
damn it.
usually how it goes. For me, at that,
I'm about to
at
come
that
back
same
from
mark,
Bali like Ashy Larry.
not because he's with Larry Legend.
Oh,
I don't
shit.
think anyone can confuse that with Larry Legend.
Shit.
Never
Anyway,
forget.
my ears were burning.
My,
Sorry.
All right. So yeah, but okay, let's skip ahead a little bit. Because I
Okay.
have two questions.
All right.
So tonight they made the blockbuster news that Tony Khan has been raving about on Twitter all week long.
Does he have
The
glow
fact
sticks while
that-
he's raving about it?
Is the fact that AEW will be debuting in the United Kingdom finally.
I'm happy for the United
But
Kingdom.
not only that, but AEW is debuting in a stadium
Only
that had SummerSlam, Bret the Hitman Hart versus
Versus
the
Bulldog.
versus Davey Boy Smith. Thank you,
Largest
for following
crowd
us,
in
Ramon.
UK history.
Thank you very much for following us, man. We're getting all the followers tonight, baby. I love
Fair
it.
enough.
yeah, we're sorry that you
Love
voted
it.
here.
They all
Yeah.
want to see their trivia champion.
They don't
And
give a
their
shit about you.
future-
That is true. That
They're
is
like,
true.
it ain't Sunday. We don't give a shit about that guy.
And their future Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast Predictions Champion.
Oh yes, and I hope
what-
you take the championship from Babylon on that. I hope you do.
You jumping over the broom before the house has been
Hey.
swept. Hold up.
Look,
Hold up.
I hope you
I
take
broke
that
the
title
broom in
away.
half and
In
threw
your
it out the
house?
window.
Wow. Anyway, let's get back to what we're talking about. So I'm glad that they debut. I'm glad they're going to debut in the United Kingdom, which is fucking awesome.
I'm happy for them.
They finally
Didn't
ship
Global
those
Force
WWE
Wrestling
stands
do that?
up because if they can fill that stadium, and give the fans what they want, WWE will have lost a great market. Number
They will.
two,
They'll fill
hold on.
out.
Number two, and the most important thing, okay, I desperately need to know this. Is Adam fucking Cole the goddamn PR guy now? Like,
Well, he,
Yeah,
every
that
time they
keeps
make an
him away
announcement,
from
it's fucking Adam
concussions.
Cole.
well, he's British.
What?
Cool is not British.
What?
He is
No, he's
from
not.
he is from Pittsburgh, Canada, in the UK.
First
First
off,
off,
Yeah.
he's from
he's
Florida.
not from Schittsburg. He's not from
Look
Schittsburg,
here.
He's from
Pennsylvania.
Florida.
Look,
Yeah,
I didn't
he's
say
not
I didn't say
Canadian.
Pennsylvania.
He's not Canadian.
I
He's
said
the wrestler
Canada.
as the Panama City Playboy.
It's a
Yeah, that's in
gimmick.
Canada.
I'm
I-
told
Does
from
he
the
live in
family,
Rocky
man.
Mountain?
That's in La Cañada.
Does he live
Nick-
in
Didn't
Rocky
you
Nikolai
go to
Mountain?
Volkov
NXT
wasn't
so
really
you didn't have to
Russian.
drive to work?
Shit. Anyway.
I hate to break this to you. Yokozuna wasn't really Japanese either.
No.
What?
Just
shit.
because
Shit.
someone,
Get out of
just
here.
because someone goes
Everybody
by the
knew
Florida Playboy panhandler.
Oh my god.
Damn.
Whatever.
Next thing you'll be telling me that Muhammad Hassan
Adam Cole,
wasn't
baby.
Hold on a second.
Muslim.
I'm confused. Did you just say Yokozuna was not Japanese?
Well,
He's
I'm
not.
just saying,
No.
according to the dirt
you-
sheets, which I don't
Hold on.
What are you
believe.
I'm
talking
so-
about? Anawai. Of course he's
Rewind that
not
shit.
Japanese.
I thought he was Japanese.
No,
No,
Hey.
he's not.
From Japan. That's just where the
Why do you
plane
need to
stopped
stop
on the
everyone
way
to know?
over
Wait, so
from
wait.
Samoa.
It's okay.
Okay, so
I
I'm
thought
gonna- hold
Taz
on.
was black, so we're good.
So
I will.
Taz is whoa, now I'm really fucked up. So wait.
I
So
really
Taz
thought
isn't
Taz was
black.
black.
Let me get this straight. So Taz isn't black.
You sure?
Yokozuna is not Japanese.
He's not.
Who the fuck is Barry O related to?
Tomko.
Tyson Tomko, he said.
Problem solver.
Hey,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
And he tag teamed with Gato.
and
Gato.
Johnny B. Bad isn't really black either. That's
Oh,
how
shit.
Brock Lesnar could take Sable.
Sure about that.
Wait,
Brock
did
Lesnar.
you say Black Lesnar?
Yeah.
Black.
He's a bad
Black
man.
Lesnar.
Shout out to Throwback.
No.
He said
no,
that's
the-
why Brock Lesnar could take Sable because he was.
He's a bad man.
Oh, so
But you
that's
know-
why he had 540.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Damn.
Once you go black, the cops will attack or something.
That's
I
why
mean,
Brock beat
that's
Cody.
the motto.
Cody stopped racism. Brock was like,
Tomato,
nah.
tomato.
Hey,
Not
hey,
today.
someone
Okay.
posted a picture on Twitter that said, "Why does Brock hate black people?" And it's
I
just beating
saw
all the black
that.
champions,
Yep.
and then Cody Rhodes.
Oh my god! Shout out to Pluggo. What up, Pluggo?
Lego.
So okay,
Beard to beards in the house.
So to parlay onto Bad Blood's question, right? One thing that I want to understand before we go into this AEW UK deal is what like configuration are they running? Are we talking about Live Aid? You know, the iconic Queen performance at Live Aid with Freddie Mercury, because that was about 80,000 people. Same thing with SummerSlam '92, about 80,000 people. When I put on the Google machine, Wembley Stadium, 12,000. So AEW can fill 12,000, but where is this number coming from? Like, I don't. Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me.
One thing I know for sure is Freddie Mercury will not be performing at the AEW show.
He might. That might be the next big announcement. He's a hologram.
So the 12,000 is how many seats they have in there. The 80,000 comes from the seats they can fit on the floor.
There's 80,000 people. Oh wait, what?
Okay,
so that's a difference of 70. So 70,000 people can fit on the floor that can't fit on.
Apparently, I don't. That just makes sense to me.
That makes no fucking sense to me.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. When WWE releases their numbers, and most concerts as well, when they release their numbers, they're releasing the numbers of everyone in the building. So that counts staff, that counts wrestlers, everything.
You guys have seen Live Aid, right? With Freddie Mercury and Queen, right? Like,
not personally, I wasn't alive then.
No. Right. But I mean, you've seen the.
I'm not bad.
You've seen the footage. There's no way 12,000 people are there. It's way more. Even when they did the Live 8,
right?
You know, with like the Genesis reunion and the Police reunion and whatever, you know, there was probably 12,000 people there on the floor, but it was early in the day.
Okay, no wait.
The headline acts come on.
Okay.
It's
Wembley Stadium.
Wembley Stadium holds 90,000 seats.
Yeah, it has 90,000 seats.
So how the fuck is I know the overseas crowd is a raucous bunch, but I don't see 90,000 of them piling in.
Here's the thing: when TNA was at its worst, the only thing keeping TNA alive was that UK market.
Correct.
The UK market is
and
just,
the Hardys and the broken gimmick.
No.
No,
the
yeah,
UK market is huge, and they have been clamoring for AEW for so fucking long.
I agree.
They're going to sell this building out. I guarantee.
90,000. I mean,
they're gonna fucking boast that they sold that building out.
Let's put a conservative estimate of 40,000, right? Like half of the purported 80,000, in which we kind of have the imagery in our heads, right?
Yeah.
40,000 people for AEW
Yeah,
in the UK. Like, I love my UK peeps, but I don't think that's.
It's not impossible. Look,
Well,
It's not
think they can
impossible,
do it.
but it's a steep climb.
here's how AEW is going to get 90,000 people in that venue. They're going to book Jeff Jarrett in the main event.
Oh hell yeah!
Okay.
For the Global Force
No.
Championship.
Look. Let's get
They're going to
real. Let's get real
resurrect
for 1 second.
Global Force.
Let's get real for 1 second. They're going to bring CM Punk.
Yeah,
They're going to bring in CM Punk. They're going to bring
Omega.
fucking. They're going to bring
So
Omega.
WC.
They're going to bring. They're going to bring fucking Juice Robinson.
Omega can't draw that much.
No, but listen. Well, all this drawing power, they're gonna draw that. John Moxley.
Here's what they're going to do.
They're going to have to
Blackpool
put on a
Combat Club.
Mania caliber show.
I'm
Yes,
telling you what
it's
the
gonna
main
be
event.
it's all out. It was going to be the all in. It's going to
Here's
be
what
all
the
in
main-
too. They're
Again,
going to
here's
sell
what the
that
main-
building out.
The main event's going to be blood and guts. I guarantee you.
okay, wait,
Yeah,
And it's
okay.
going to
better
be
be-
Punk
yes.
and FTR versus the Elite.
Just for scale, right? You guys watched WrestleMania. I was there for both nights, right?
Mhm.
So I have a pretty good idea
Okay,
in terms
Drew.
of mass of how much 80,000 people could be, right?
Yeah.
I don't see that for AEW. None of the people that you named, unless there's some major acquisitions. But who's on the free agent market that could garner 80,000 people?
This is
You
what-
could
here,
do
okay.
blood and guts, or
Here's the
compete
thing.
with the Elite and
You're
what is it? Punk on
Gold-
the other side.
Goldberg.
You're comparing an American crowd to a UK crowd.
Yeah.
There's a huge difference.
Way different.
I
Way
don't see
different.
it.
So
I
I
don't
don't
see
think,
it.
I
Clash.
think the main difference here is that the UK is so starved for these kinds of events that
Right.
and given the better train system, people are more likely to travel for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And in the US, people were SoFi, they're kind of like, I live in Inglewood, but I ain't going.
Look,
Yeah,
so
sure.
look at it this way: Clash at the Castle. If that was a pay-per-view put on in America, they never would have been able to sell out a venue like they
You're
did in
correct.
England.
Exactly.
It was a
You're
go
correct.
pay-per-view, and they could fill up in a stadium. That's the difference between us and over in the UK, because they don't get it like we get it every week.
And
Wow.
plus, UK is such
That sounds
hardcore
like-
wrestling fan base that they're bound to sold out.
That
Now,
sounds like an assessment of something
I know what
else,
you're saying. 90,000 is a stretch.
Right.
Yeah. That's
But-
WrestleMania numbers. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
They'll do
But-
it.
Hey, but look at SummerSlam '92. That was a down period for WWE. It didn't have Hulk Hogan, the biggest star ever in the company. He had just left. So
The main
I mean,
event was
and they
Bret Hart and Davey Boy Smith.
right, they sold out Wembley Stadium with Bret Hart and Davey Boy Smith, and Bret Hart wasn't the star that he would become.
That doesn't really go against his argument. I mean, we're talking about Davey Boy Smith was hot as fuck back then.
Yeah.
In the UK, yes.
So was
He's the
Hart
British
family.
Bulldog. And we're doing.
And Hart, Davey Boy Smith.
It could have been for the
in
European
England,
title. It could have been the light
and
heavyweight title.
They
in
don't get
Minnesota.
wrestling on the regular period.
Right.
That was going to go over like crazy.
When's the last time Punk was in the UK? Not since WWE.
When he shit his pants, probably.
Maybe.
Wait, what?
Fish and chips will do that to you.
All right.
Or
All
smoking
right.
Z-Bats.
Look. Let's put all like hatred and all bullshit aside. Let's lay it out on the line. Bullshit. CM Punk is a fucking major draw. You know why
Yes,
he's
he
a
is.
major draw?
Yes, he is.
Because he is controversial, and people
Controversy.
like controversy. You bring
hasn't been
CM
on-
Punk back for that show. You put CM Punk versus CM Punk and FTR versus the Elite as the main event with the personal heat in that fucking 6-man tag team match. People are going to buy that fucking shit, and people are
He'll
going
travel.
to go. Then
I don't think Punk will be your main attraction or your main event.
I think he will.
He'll be a headliner.
yeah.
But I think your main event is going to be some international star Forbidden Door
Oh, yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
Rob Terry versus Okada.
Maybe you bring someone like
Douglas
Maybe-
Williams.
I got it. Maybe you have that fucking match that they've been talking about, Bryan Danielson versus that fucking arrogant piece of shit, Zack Sabre
Zack
Jr.
Sabre Jr.
Or
Yes.
or
Yes.
you or you still
That's a once
almost
in a
away.
lifetime match. Everyone wants that match. You put
You
Zack
still
Sabre
supposed
Jr.
to have that
versus-
Forbidden Door.
Man, fuck
You
yeah,
still-
dude.
You still almost from WWE.
Oh, jeez.
We got
Nigerian
Scatman,
Nightmare.
Scatman Singh or whatever.
He's not from
What?
the UK.
Scatman Crothers is dead.
Shotzi
Scatman
working
Crothers.
for
Maybe we
10
can get
months
out
in a
Big
row.
Daddy.
Yeah, from the doldrums of I don't know.
Well, why don't
whatever
you get Loch
cemetery
Ness
he's
while you're at it?
Wow.
Hey,
Well,
maybe,
Hey,
realistically,
Stack
though,
Calhoun.
all bullshit
Yeah,
aside,
Ja Rule?
they can
Ja
sell that
Rule will sell
building
90,000.
Oh yeah, I
London.
believe so.
Well,
They can sell that building out. If they do it right, they'll sell that building out. And it's because
Okay,
they're
when
giving
has
the
AEW
UK
got
people,
anything right?
they're doing a lot right. They had a better
Wait,
fucking
wait.
show. They had a better show tonight than the Raw
The
after
Monday Night
Mania,
Raw.
which is
That's just
history.
saying.
Which is
That's just
history.
like saying I have.
let's be
here are my
honest here.
balls.
So we heard the rumors that Drew McIntyre isn't re-signing with WWE.
Mhm.
I mean, if his contract's up by then, and because if he runs out his contract, he don't have to wait 90 days to appear in
Right,
AEW.
Right,
he can
but
fucking do a Lex
okay.
Luger and appear the
So-
next night.
We could have Drew McIntyre. Vince is
Wait,
back in
stop.
charge.
Stop.
I can even get the word in.
So here's All In, and all of a sudden, your main event, out comes Drew, what was he going
Galloway.
Galloway
for? Drew Galloway.
Drew Galloway.
versus Drew Gulak. The battle of the Drews.
After the run that he had in WWE, people be like, oh shit, it's badass. Drew Galloway's here. To do what? Get a run with the title?
Right.
No. Get buried? Probably.
Right.
Get pushed to AEW Dark? Yeah. To get his
No
to get what
platform.
Even-
he deserves?
Even if
Yeah,
it's just
probably not.
even if it's just a one-off appearance for that show.
I don't see it. I don't
have.
You know what? I will tell you right now. It will be in Tony Khan's best interest to pull that crowd with his homegrown talent than to rely on a stunt. Stunts are fine. He can run out in the Battle Royal or Casino Battle Royal or whatever the hell they have there. But or he could do a run-in. But to build a main event match around him to
Oh no, saying
bring people in, nah.
I'm not saying main event, but if you have Drew McIntyre advertised for that card, that's gonna pull people in the UK.
That's
That's what they did with. Why do you think? That's why
After
he's
he
putting the
lost
main
the
event.
castle in the castle, nah. They could have old boxer dude come out and sing that song with them again.
Tyson Fury.
Yeah, that'll put butts in seats.
Yo, Tyson Fury had a fight the other day and sold the building out.
Yeah.
So,
No, but he's Tyson Fury, right? So
so you
but
bring
my
Tyson
thing
Fury
is,
to
I don't-
AEW.
Yeah.
Okay, so look at the I guess the auspices of how Vince used to book the either the Rumble or Mania, right?
Mhm.
This is what I want for Mania. Book back, right?
Yeah,
So book
and you get
backwards. How do I get there?
booked backwards.
Right? I don't have any faith in the booking in AEW and the consistency or lack thereof to hold it that. What are we doing? August through the summer. Like Battle of the Belts was supposed to be this big deal, right? It means nothing. This last Battle
I
of the
agree
Belts.
with you on that. I agree.
Yeah.
With you on the Belts thing. I've been
I
saying
didn't
that
even
for
I
months.
didn't even know there was one coming up.
Right.
Yeah, there is.
Tonight.
So that's what I'm saying. Is like
They got a new PR guy now.
they've AEW to an extent has become WWE in the sense that they can make anything, even the most extraordinary things, whether it be 5-star matches or blood and guts or whatever, seem ordinary.
Yeah.
Seem ordinary. Things that we see. I mean, that Commander Sammy Guevara match. I'm not a fan of Sammy or whatever.
I hate
That should have
Sammy.
been a pay-per-view match, but we're getting them every week.
Yeah.
Every week we had Vikingo, right? If that happened in AAA, that would have been amazing, right? So we had that dream match, right? And the next week we don't see Vikingo. We get another masked guy. And if you're in Des Moines, Iowa, flipping the channels and wanting to see AEW, you might, recognize Danielson. You're wondering why, like he's not doing the yes, right? Or you see, Dean Ambrose as John Moxley, and you're going like, what? Like, whatever, right? So I don't think that AEW has enough booking consistency and a footprint in the UK to sell it out. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong for everybody on that card.
I believe
For wrestling fans as a whole, in a post WWE UFC merger type of deal, which apparently, there are people behind the scenes that aren't happy with the way things are going down. I mean, I think Tony Khan, for the first time the second time in 2 years, will have a cachet of talent that you wouldn't think he himself wouldn't have thought that he would have access to, that are going to be accessible by August, right? Do you debut them all on one night? What do you do?
So the thing is, Adam, I think what would work best for AEW, and maybe somebody knows this, when do they typically do Forbidden Door?
June.
Forbidden Door is a June show.
Okay,
Yep.
so Forbidden Door could be your pre-show to the Wembley Stadium show. And the reason why is we saw Forbidden Door last year, and the shit was fantastic.
It was great.
Was it a bunch of one-off stuff? Was it a bunch of kind of Ring of Honor guy, New Japan guy, this guy? Yeah, it was, but it was a great spectacle.
Whole point.
And so when you get Will Ospreay out there, when you get the Embassy out there, and you remind your international audience, hey, this is who we're going to bring to you in a couple of months. That's what helps us sell seats. So you got to have a good showing for a Forbidden Door to help you really sell some seats for. And if you're a promoter, that's what you're going to do. Oh my God! If you saw what happened at Forbidden Door, you can't wait until what happens when we get to Wembley Stadium and we're bringing your favorite international stars, such as blah 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 blah, and Goldberg, and all that. So they're going to have to pre-show with the pay-per-view to get this big show, and this is really. And again, if you ask Jeff Jarrett would be like, well, I did that shit already, because when I was a Global Force Wrestling, we were in Saudi Arabia and Africa and here and there and da-da-da-da-da.
And they sold gold.
Yes, they did.
So there's only one person that can turn AEW's booking around, and that's Vince Russo.
Oh.
So can we just hire Russo already?
No.
And
actually,
AEW at the top.
I'm gonna entertain, like a booking change, right? But I'd say from now till August, right? You give the book to, Jado and Gedo of New Japan. Because obviously with Wrestle Kingdom, they have a proven success record with international talent outside of the WWE, outside of North America, to pull a crowd and leave the crowd wanting more. They, much like the WWE in most recent years, have extended Wrestle Kingdom to 2 nights. That's 2 nights at the Tokyo Dome, which is in the neighborhood of the capacity of Wembley Stadium.
Right.
So I say get Gedo and Jado. Let them book this shit.
Okay, now I agree with Adam about that. But if you guys have been paying attention to like AEW News, Tony Khan was asked would he ever do a 2-night WrestleMania type of deal. And Tony Khan said there's something in the works that will be just like a 2-night WrestleMania. Keep watch. So maybe All Out, or All In, and All Out might be a 2-night event. We don't fucking know. Because I know one of them in Vegas, but then they got the UK thing. So now the UK thing is signed up. Maybe they might do 2 nights. Who knows? And maybe they might bring international talent. Who knows? The smartest thing for him to do is to find out exactly what the fucking fans in the UK really want and then give it to them. They got a new PR guy. They got from the WWE. His PR guy was with the WWE for fucking 14 years. This is the guy that helped build fucking the last couple of years of WrestleMania. He's one of the guys he's like a major key in bringing all those fucking people to those venues. AEW just fucking hired this guy. So this right now is a fucking huge thing. Plus, you also got to think about it like this.
Thank you for the following,
Adam Hopkins.
Tony Khan also
hired.
Thank you very much for following us, Esmo. Tony Khan also has a soccer team in the UK that sells the stadiums out all the time.
Shit,
so obviously he knows what he's doing when it comes to dealing with the fans in the UK. Soccer is a humongous sport over there. If you blend those soccer fans with fucking wrestling fans, my God, they're gonna sell that fucking venue out.
when he announced they're running the UK, I was expecting him to say the O2 Arena or something like that. I was not expecting Wembley.
I was like, Wembley Stadium. Are you biting a little too much off that apple, bro?
Right.
You want arm in the leg for that?
But honestly, I'm gonna say this about Tony Khan. I say this every week on the show. I think his booking style sometimes is fucking dumb. He does stupid shit when he books. He books like a kid who has a bunch of brand new toys and just wants to play a game. I get it.
I'd do that.
But
meanwhile, in Stamford,
he also is a statistics guy. The guy knows numbers. He knows how to make money.
Yes, he does.
Okay, AEW hasn't been is not in the black. I mean, it's not in the red. AEW is making money
because of Malachi Black.
But no, seriously, AEW is making money. They're not losing money, which is a good thing. So obviously, he knows what he's doing when it comes to making money with sports.
He moves the columns from the right side to the left.
And let's not
analyst. He's a guy who knows numbers.
And let's not forget that AEW has Soraya right now, who
is a big star over there.
Is huge. Her whole family is huge stars over there. I mean, they ran UK wrestling for a long time.
But see, the again, what the UK fans know about the Knight family, right? Versus what we know here, there's some sordid things there. So that might not age well. So that's all I'll say about that. But
yeah.
There's stuff with that family that is definitely turned heads.
I mean, they're not booking Marty Skrull. I mean, shit, you know.
Right, but
you might as well, and Joey Ryan too.
Oh, wow. No.
Yeah. What? No. I mean, if you're gonna go with the Knight family, you might as well just keep on going. I mean, that was the first All In, right? Joey Ryan.
That
was All In.
I'm mixing up my alls. I'm sorry.
No, that was All In.
You're right. The first All In was Joey Ryan with the penises.
Yeah, he had his penis druids.
Now it's time for Shabbat.
I almost ended up being one of those penis druids. So let's not talk about that.
You would have fit in well.
Like a big dick, is that what you're saying? Wow.
Are you a Dudley? I mean, Big Dick Dudley.
It could be.
I mean, it looked like a Friday night at the Husky Manor, but
I mean,
wow.
Or the Igloo.
Well, anyway, the point we're making, honestly, is Tony Khan can do it. He can do it if he really listens to the people who fucking work with him, and he books the show as a wrestling promoter, not a wrestling
a fan.
And here's the biggest thing that Tony Khan needs to do.
He needs to do it for the walk.
Well, besides that, he needs to not let his guys go do any conventions or anything in the UK this summer. Because the UK always has big wrestling conventions. Tony Khan needs to be like, hey, we're can't have any of our guys in there.
Can't.
We need to get this crowd for him. So we need to give him reason to come.
Here.
Yeah.
Almost a la, what is it, WrestleMania? What was it, on Pontiac Silverdome? Was that 2 or 3?
Oh, yeah.
That was
3.
Yeah, where you closed off every outlet, and then you just had what's there. I mean, I think it's a different time, though.
He's going to have to do a shitty thing in order to sell out.
Well, I'm not saying you can't show AEW. I'm saying he shouldn't let his wrestlers go over to these UK conventions leading up to this big pay-per-view.
Right.
Because the biggest thing he's going to need is the UK fans wanting to see these wrestlers. And if they can go meet them ahead of time at a different convention for cheaper, they're not going to show up to Wembley Stadium.
No, they're not.
Especially if the Steiner's going to be
I get
there.
where you're coming from, Senator. I definitely get where you're coming from.
He needs to look at what fans want. He needs to put the show first, not his ego.
Yes.
I agree with that.
Tony Khan has an ego?
Here's the main event he needs. Here's the main event he needs to book if he wants to sell out Wembley Stadium.
If there wasn't a more humble guy in wrestling, it has to be him. He told me himself.
Right.
If he wants to sell out Wembley Stadium, the main event needs to be Nyla Rose versus Rick Steiner.
Oh God.
That's one way to do it.
Main event.
Why?
That's drawing crickets.
With Goldberg as the referee.
Oh
loser
God.
wears a dress match.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
they get Perry Saturn here.
Wow.
No.
Honestly, it can happen. They just really need to pay attention.
Like I said from the beginning, I think they can sell out this show.
Tony Khan
can happen in the AEW.
From now to August, Tony Khan just has to be on his A game.
Yes.
He just has to not step on his own dick.
Yeah, pretty much. And he's had a problem with not stepping on his own dick.
Yes, he has.
Wow, it's like a cool party trick. Like Abdullah the Butcher on one side with
Colonel
sticking
Parker.
quarters in his fucking head, and then Tony Khan stepping on
Funny,
his
it
own
was,
dick
it
on
wasn't
the
his
other.
own dick, it was Colonel
So
Parker.
after this blockbuster announcement, what other matches do we have?
Oh shit, man!
Michael
we had
McGuinness.
Trios Championship. First of all, I thought it was Bray Wyatt coming out, but it wasn't. It was House of Black, and then also this minivan pulled up, and I was like, "Holy shit, it's Colt Cabana!" No, it's Best Friends and Orange Cassidy.
That's what
It's
fucking
not
Sue,
Colt
bro.
Cabana, damn it.
Sue came back.
They were watching The Lion King and eating pancakes. Come on.
Yeah,
Judy
so
Bagwell, what?
Sue pulls up, she drops the boys off. And it's kind of funny because they had a problem getting the side door open, which is kind of funny.
Sue is
How
over,
about-
bro.
I've always wanted to see Sue in a minivan.
Oh my gosh!
Wow.
First off, what do you guys make of Orange Cassidy carrying his title in the backpack?
I love
get
it.
it for the gimmick,
I
but
love it.
Superstar Billy Graham was pissed off at Bob Backlund for wanting to wear the robe over the WWF title, right?
I
So
love
with
it.
that ideology at here, I don't dig it. I fucking don't dig it, but
Superstar
I'll-
Billy
I'll
Graham's
put
mad
this
at the
way.
Superstar Billy Graham's mad at the sun for coming up in the morning.
Yeah.
I'll put it this
Yeah.
way.
don't
That
let
was
the
the
sun go
70s.
down on me.
That was the 70s and
This
the
is
early
now.
80s.
Okay, but in
All the
2023,
flippy shit.
it's happening, and you have a newly established title that you really haven't established, right? You know, and
Correct.
I mean, it's become the TNA. What is it?
All of them?
Legends thing, and then it became the King of the Mountain, whatever the fuck, and it's that. Like, what are we doing?
I hear what you're saying. I hear exactly what you're saying. I think the carrying the belt in the backpack, I don't like it. I'm a professional wrestler. I don't like it, but that's part of his gimmick. Whatever. The belt doesn't make the man, and the man makes the belt. So it's whatever. But the matches he's had, the talent that he's worked,
it's great.
have been phenomenal.
And this isn't hyperbole or bias, but I believe that he does it. He being Orange Cassidy, pronouns pal, does a better Superman punch than Roman Reigns. Sorry,
Yeah,
he
absolutely.
does. It's
I
more
fully agree
believable.
with that.
Yes.
So
Absolutely.
that's it. And the
I
stun
want
gun
to see
millionaire.
Orange
I mean,
Cassidy
it's
versus
Mark
Roman Reigns.
Haskins' move, but I mean, it fits the character.
Adam, you just make me want to do Orange Cassidy versus Roman Reigns in 2K23.
That's what it is. I just think that these three guys being Orange Cassidy. I will say this: for the first time in a very long time, I felt like the trio, the 6-man titles, the trios titles meant something tonight.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like Julian always says, what are the stakes? What are the stakes tonight? Not just this fact that the 6-man titles were on the line, but this match was a fucking entertaining match.
Oh yeah.
Right.
What
Which
do you
is
think, Julian?
No, for sure. Very entertaining. It had all the athleticism that you would expect from this group of guys. Wasn't clear if Orange Cassidy's title was on the line, but it was House of Black, and House of Black was here to kick some ass. And Buddy Matthews picking up the pin. I mean, you can't be mad about that.
Yeah, especially his significant other Rhea Ripley won the title. This
Now they both have gold.
Right, exactly.
They
So
both have
in two
gold.
different companies, so they're the clique
That's awesome.
in their own right.
Yeah.
Keith
And they-
Lee and Mia Yim can say that.
And they both dated Mysterios.
They're
That's
both
just mean.
dating Mysterios. Oh yeah! Holy smoke! Wow! I love that you put that together. Oh yes.
That's what I do.
I mean, okay, Mark Henry.
I mean, they were all sitting together at the Hall of Fame, which is really
Oh
fun.
yeah.
They were.
Yes, they were.
Yes. They
I think that Buddy Matthews like totally is the star of the show.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I don't like
Well,
the
you
fact
don't have
that
It's great.
Although there was a couple big moves that Brody King did. Oh my god!
Yeah.
So I mean, I think Malachi, and no disrespect to him, but I think he's coasting because he's got Matthews to do all the fucking high spot shit. Also the Muscle Man stuff, and then even more big meaty Muscle Man stuff is Brody King. Right? He can do like giant with a bit of adrenaline running through his veins. So, like, I think his effectiveness in the House of Black in this match wasn't great. But I mean, it serves its purpose. If you're the leader of a dark and spooky hocus pocus faction, and that are champions, what is it, incumbent champions, you don't have to do much. You have your minions or midians do the bidding, and that's what we got.
I like the way you
Not
said
naked.
I like that. Yeah.
Not naked. You're correct.
Then we go to a very enjoyable part of the evening for me. MJF. I
Man.
love it. I love it when the
Yeah.
heel, who everyone their fucking mom hates, in 49 other states, goes to his state and gets the key to the city. And becomes like
Yep.
the fucking, comes out doing a
And he's in a musical number.
musical, and it was entertaining.
And he
it
can
wasn't,
sing.
it
Came out to
wasn't
a musical
cheesy
number.
like the Miz and Maurice thing. It was actually a fucking good.
MJF can sing.
Well, he's
Hey.
in the Glee Club, yeah.
We knew this.
MJF and Chris Jericho's little song they did a few years ago was
Yeah.
great.
No, that was horrible.
I
was
think that
amazing.
this performance was really good. It was funny, and it showed that if MJF like really wanted to be a face, like he really could be a face.
Yeah.
The barbs he was giving to the crowd was giving him back. It was really great the way he
The
fucking dissed that
ADHD
stupid teacher.
line.
Yeah, dude, he got the ADHD to pop, bro. Like it was crazy. That's one of those cheap pops. Like The Rock would be like, finally, The Rock is in Miami. And Miami would go crazy.
I don't think it was. I think it was skillfully done because he.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He took that crowd on a fucking joyride.
Yeah.
And he was like, and that's where you say,
And they were having fun.
what did he say? He said, that's where you say, you're the best. Clap, clap, clap. Oh no, you deserve it. Clap, clap,
Yeah,
clap.
you deserve
And the
it.
crowd was like, you deserve it. Clap, clap, clap. Like,
Yeah.
dude,
You
the
know
fact
it,
that
baby. That's
well-
what he did.
he led them on that journey was so
Yeah.
fucking masterful.
Yeah.
And then he was just like, this teacher, and I for me personally, I went through that. A teacher told me, "Oh, you'll never make it in wrestling. You're fucking too skinny, and you're nobody, and blah blah blah." And at my fucking high school reunion, when I walked in there, and people were like, "Bro, I seen you on TV. Bro, I seen this. I literally walked right up to that motherfucking guy, and I pulled my phone out and I said, "Wow, look at Wikipedia. I didn't announce anything. Sorry, I just made history in 3 different categories, you bitch." And I walked away from him. Dude, that was the biggest. That made me feel so fucking accomplished because I shut that fucking guy's mouth. So
I
I
can remember who you were.
So the whole, he remembered because we went through rounds.
Okay.
My sister and my brother, he picked on them too, just because.
Oh, yeah.
Point I'm making is, for someone, MJF showed you a real part of himself in that promo. He showed you a real part of himself, and the fans were right there. They took that shit and they ran with it. And then he went back to being a piece of shit asshole, which was great.
I mean, that's the. Well, you remember Seth Rollins, the entrance at WrestleMania, right, with the conductor, right? That's what MJF did. And then also, side note, I want to be skinny and unimportant, at least skinny. God damn, BJ, why the hell? As he's eating a bowl of, I want to say that's either escargot or what is it? The fish eggs. What is it? What do you call the fish eggs? Pate? No.
To the emoji?
Never mind. What is it?
Hamburger helper.
I don't know. You're eating veal parmigiana, I guess.
Hamburger helper, the pizza cheeseburger edition.
Okay. That's classy, fools. That's classy. But yeah, I mean, MJF is the biggest star in the business, and I mean, we're in the biggest I guess era, right? The most historic era. 2 nights of Mania in Hollywood, no less, or Inglewood, rather, right? What we were supposed to get a raucous, Raw after Mania. That doesn't happen because it's pretty much, concentrated on this. What will the WWE UFC merger look like, right? And then Tony Khan's big announcement, right? So of all these things, right? And we know MJF is a maestro on the mic. right? We know it's good. This week's Dynamite is going to be in Long Island, MJF's hometown, and we knew he was going to get the key to the city, right? But how well it went, like, I think of the week and everything that has happened in the week, MJF is the MVP and the sleeper hit of this week, right? In a week of big announcements or whatever, he took all of that, right? I mean, he could have coasted on his laurels and let WWE take all of the the news cycle and whatever. He did it.
Yeah.
I think coming out of this, everybody's going to rave about this. How many YouTube, wrestling personalities? I mean, us, obviously, namely, right after, are talking about it. He did something right, So kudos to MJF.
You know what makes me so happy about that whole situation? MJF has been world champion for let's say 5 months. Let's just say 5 months.
Yeah.
Every month, every time MJF comes out and does something else happens. Vince McMahon, fucking this. The WWE, this. The Saudis are gonna buy WWE. Fucking CM Punk goes off on the media. The night MJF had one of the best matches of his life. The media scrum fucked it off.
Right.
No, that was the night that MJF returned.
Yeah,
the media scrum fucked it off.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So every time MJF has like this groundbreaking fucking thing, something else comes and covers it over.
Yes, I agree.
He
but
was
also,
fighting from beneath,
Yes. Yeah, no, 100%. But also MJF with his skill, his cunning to kind of borrow from the late great Nick Bockwinkel, his skill, his cunning, right? Mm-hmm. He makes us forget about whatever the hell happened before and after his promos or his matches. Sure. And he's a phenomenal wrestler. He can get it done in between the ropes, right? It's not that, and then the bell rang. No, it's not hyperbole. MJF is a credible world champion. If you put him in 1950s with Lou Thesz, 1930s with Ed Strangler Lewis, the 70s with the Funks or Baba or what have you, MJF fits in every. That's that generational, talent that he's talking about, right? Mm-hmm. And we've heard it before, right? World's greatest tag team, Charlie Haas and Shelton Benjamin. It's a bit of hyperbole, whatever. And they became one of the greatest, right? And they just did it like literally 5 years before anyone else did, right? Mm-hmm. So when MJF said he's a generational talent, it sounded a bit, at least to me, like hyperbole. It is not any longer.
He said it. He proved it. He became it. I agree.
Yeah,
100%.
And he's still becoming it.
And I know Julian is excited for this next part because there was we'll come back. We're gonna have words from Christian Cage. And then all of a sudden,
and then what
Christian
comes
Cage
out?
Is staying there. It's a red door behind the red door.
Oh yeah, Super Luchasaurus.
No, Mega Luchasaurus. Mega.
He came out looking like fucking Super Shredder, bro. I was like,
right.
Kevin Nash?
Was that Kevin Nash behind the hood?
Right, yeah.
Did he tear a quad coming out?
No, he
wow.
didn't.
No, that's not Shane McMahon.
No, he's just getting to the other side of Oz.
Oh, it's
Remember,
only been,
this is a Turner company.
It's only been 19 years.
Is he gonna hang out with a diamond stud? I mean,
that's too soon.
Yeah, that's too soon.
The diamond stud.
No, but I like that Luchasaurus didn't say anything and that Christian Cage didn't say anything. It's just the look that they gave, and that look said to me was, "I'm about to fuck Jungle Boy up."
He said,
"We're here." Which
he came out and goes, "Chickens."
Which I mean, going back to the MJF's deal, right? So you had all of that, and all of that was to build to Jungle Boy, right? Mm-hmm. And as a part of the quartet or whatever the hell, right? And
the four pillars.
Jungle Boy sucked the air out of the room, right? Only for the next match to suck the air out of the room. MJF is phenomenal. Jack Perry did the absolute minimum. Whoa. Literally, MJF set the table for success. Even the takedown of MJF by one Jungle Boy, Jack Perry, it was paint by numbers.
Yeah.
Wait, MJF may have set the table, but Jungle Boy built the damn table.
Jungle Boy is the table. What are you talking
He
about?
is the table.
I am the table.
Is the table.
Jungle
Oh,
Boy
the
is
table.
the pillar that holds the other pillars up.
Yeah, he is
Yes.
the pillar.
By his
The pillar.
amazing promo skills, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
He tried.
He gets down the
tries with
mic.
his problem. Don't worry.
But then we get me and Julian, we talk about this all the time on the podcast. And other people are like, no. Me and Julian have been saying this shit from day fucking one.
We
The
all
Blackpool Combat Club are fucking heels.
Yeah.
They came out and they, in the immortal words of Bobby the Brain Heenan, they beat the crap out of these ham and eggers. They whooped their ass. I don't even think I heard the fucking bell ring. They just got in the ring and started beating the shit out of these guys.
And then tap.
And
They tapped the guy out. It was like less than 2 minutes and then beating the shit out of each other. And then Bryan Danielson comes down and he's like, I love this guy because he's a wrestler. I love this guy because he's a wrestler. And he goes, I love Wheeler Yuta. Even though sometimes he's a fucking asshole, I still love Wheeler Yuta. Right? I was like, okay. And then Hangman Adam Page comes out.
Big dummy.
And he gets stabbed in the fucking eye with a flathead screwdriver.
I mean, he did it better than
thought he was
Rollins
an
and
anal
Mysterio.
I was looking to see if an eyeball was going to pop out. I was like, oh, fuck.
Oof.
But yeah.
So
Yeah, when he did the screwdriver job, I was like,
you know what? I'm not a fan of Hangman Adam Page, so I'm for it.
But we
Well,
were
here's
talking
the
about
thing.
this.
So when the Road Warriors did it to Dusty with the spikes on the shoulder pad,
That's okay.
like that was shocking. That was
bloody.
That was new and it was bloody.
It was the 80s, too.
The fact that you're bringing this. Oh, I just happen to have a flathead screwdriver with me.
Just put it out of his pocket, like
It's to put together the
premeditated
turnbuckles, pal.
You don't carry a flathead around in your pocket?
I was trying. I was
But
trying to
you
walk
also
around with a
don't
fucking
put
flathead
together
screwdriver.
rings.
More, I just, after the court thing, I just decided.
After that one
Wait,
time,
what
out,
court thing?
That one restraining order.
the Warriors told me never to do that again.
Yeah, I was like, oh look, Bryan Danielson, Mr. Now here's the thing. Seeing as how he's Mr. Recycle and Mr. Nature, the fact that he had like a metal screwdriver, I was like, I don't know. Now if he had like a wood chisel, I'd have been like, okay, I'll buy that.
And what was so funny about it was he pulled that screwdriver out of his pocket like normal people pull a cell phone out of their pocket. He just got it and it was swirling it in his finger.
That was the thing about it. He pulls out this obviously brand new screwdriver, and to me it's kind of like shit. Which end do I use?
Because he was twirling it like, do I stab him with the ball?
He should have
pointy side.
He should have pulled out a piece of recycled paper and just gave him a bunch of paper cuts.
Wow,
that would have fit his gimmick,
bro. You know what? Okay, Bad Blood. Here we go. Your next match, you need to come out with a piece of paper and a bottle of rubbing alcohol.
Oh no!
Sit there.
I'm wrestling Saturday. I'm gonna fuck somebody up just like that.
No,
I swear.
The worst thing for a paper cut is lemon juice.
Take the piece of paper, take like a Post-it note, and cut it right here in their mouth, and then spray them in the mouth with alcohol.
Julian is a sick motherfucker. I love it.
That's
sadistic.
I love it.
No, the way I suggest it is lemon juice after the paper cut.
Man, I love this shit. Man.
Damn sure.
Yeah. So we get that, and no one comes out and saves him, and then they leave him in the ring. Fucked up.
They're like, "Fuck Hangman."
Yeah.
I don't want
no one loves him. Brian said it.
So you got a bunch of ham and eggers in the ring, and it's like, who's gonna
Where's
come
Dark
save
Order?
him?
Or the Elite?
I mean,
they beat Dark Order up,
but why?
Right.
Honestly,
why?
These guys have no loyalty in the locker room. If you're local talent, that's about it. You might have some family members in the front row. They're not gonna hop the guardrail.
Grandma jumps in
so
and gets
Adam
beat
Page
up
is
by
like,
Moxley.
Fuck, I guess I gotta go do this.
Yep.
So the Blackpool Combat Club is pretty much what they wanted the Outcast to be.
Yes.
I don't want to talk about the Outcast.
But look, the BCC
Big Boy and Andre 3000.
Yes,
no, not the cool
exactly.
Outcast.
But Sunday Center, it sounds to me like every time you really want to say the Black Dude Combat Club.
Yeah, I feel
Look,
like that's
I'm trying to start a new club by
Look,
my house,
he's
and
trying
I
to be like-
sometimes get the names mixed
Also,
up.
He's trying to
do,
be like
do you
my
know what
bad.
What's her
Blackpool
name?
is actually known for?
Biting.
Ballroom
Facials?
dancing.
Blood pudding.
He's trying to be like fucking Renee Paquette. He
Right.
wants to say BBC, but he knows
Who
that
doesn't?
he can't say.
Hey, Blackpool sounds like a very fun facial. So whatever.
Oh.
I'm not even.
Oh. Hey,
Not
now
that there's
you're
anything
all-star.
wrong with that, but I just
Oh my
not versed.
god.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. So
Okay.
the Blackpool Combat. See, I can't say it.
Blackpool
But the
Combat Club.
Blackpool Combat Club, right, was referred to as a trios, right?
Yes.
When have they ever gotten a crack at the trios championship?
They never
They
did.
just want to beat people up. They
Right,
don't care
that's what
about
I'm
the titles.
saying. Stop referring to them as trios. You know, just like they've got Christian Cage, Brian Cage, and there's another Cage, right?
Adam
Like,
Page.
unless you're going to put them in that context, don't mention it. Don't mention that they're trios unless they're going for the championship. That was a very weird and minuscule thing that it just struck me the wrong way, but
And
that's
now
what happened.
Now there's 4 of them anyway, so they're a
So
quartet.
it's a
Correct.
faction.
Yeah, exactly. So
They should start a quartet championship.
A
And
quartet.
speaking of Ethan
Wow.
Page,
Should not.
Tony
Yeah,
got his
Ethan-
watching. He'll do it.
speaking of Ethan Page, we had Ethan Page versus your boy
Hook.
Hook.
Page, formerly known as Page.
Yeah, Hook.
Did you know Hook is also white,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
his
He's-
dad?
There's no
He's
Hook
really
is
Yeah.
out, son.
black.
And he comes out to the hip hop.
That is just very, very tan.
So Hook comes out.
Really half black like
Matt
his dad.
Hardy and what's his name?
Isaiah.
Isaiah Cassidy. So Isaiah
I
has
was
that,
going to say
he has
David
that moan
Cassidy.
shirt, which is funny as shit.
I
I
love
love it.
David
So-
Cassidy?
You knew there was a setup. I told
Cassidy.
you. I told you guys this like 2 weeks ago when they set this matchup. That he told Page told Matt Hardy, make the contract. And I was like, okay, so Hook wins. Matt Hardy and Isaiah Cassidy are free from the grips of Ethan Page and fucking Stokely Hathaway.
Okay,
And you
So
wouldn't
the fact
know
that
that
Hook-
if you hadn't watched AEW Dark Elevation.
I had
2.0.
no clue what this match is about, or if there. I didn't even know about those stipulations going into the
Well,
match.
There you go.
It was actually on Dynamite that it happened, but
And that's exactly who's going to sell out Wembley, right?
Ethan Page is.
yeah, when they do
Page,
sell
Matt
out
Hardy.
Wembley, I want you to come on the show and be like, I was wrong.
Yeah, I
Yo,
apologize.
okay. No,
Yeah.
we have to have asterisks. It has to be paid attendance. It can't be. I
Well,
mean, I just
Whoa,
want to-
whoa,
No,
okay, all right, all right,
No.
hold up.
Mm-mm.
Hold up. No.
Attention.
Hey, Adam,
Yeah.
as much leeway as I give WWE for saying we had 160,000
Yeah, no bullshit.
fans in SoFi. It like unique fans. Like how many of them came on night one and night? It as a numbers guy, this shit bugs the fuck out of me.
Yeah.
So
But as a wrestling fan, much
I'm
like
gonna say this, and I
Mr.
want you guys to
America
think
and a
about
mask,
this.
there's a lot of shit that I let go. But
I
you
want you-
can't be like, oh, night one we had 81,000 people. On night two we had 85,000 people. We had a total of 100. No, the fuck you didn't.
Right. I
So
agree.
look, I want you
had
also to think of
maybe
this too.
100,000, maybe 120. But no.
here's the
I
thing
want
with
you to think
WWE
of this too
numbers.
before you go any further. One, they have seat fillers. They pay motherfuckers to come watch the show.
No,
Okay.
they didn't pay. You just got on the floor.
That's what I'm
Allegedly.
saying.
It's
But
still,
they do that
killer.
even in Portland. They
Yeah.
give out free tickets so they got seat
Right.
fillers so they can make their TV
Yeah.
look bigger.
So you remember
Number two,
how we
hold on,
began?
number two, they always lie about their fucking attendance. They had
Always.
a building. They said they did 93,000 fans in that building, and you look at the schematics of the tickets. It only seems like 65,000. So where
Right.
the other
I
fucking
agree
30,000
with
come
you.
from?
Okay,
No.
I agree with you. I agree with
WWE's
you. But what I'm
numbers,
saying is,
They do that shit all the time.
WWE's
Okay,
attendance
what I would-
numbers is everyone in the building. They count everyone in the
Correct.
building.
no, but what I'm saying, right? Because this is how we kind of began this episode of the podcast, right? In terms of who, how rowdy is that, English UK
UK
crowd going to be, right? I don't think you're going to have a paid attendance. I think you're going to do. I mean, it's going to be probably close to 50 paid, and then 50 papered.
I think. Well, I mean, no matter what show it is, there's always going to be papered
That's
seats.
No. But I mean, you guys were saying that the UK crowd shows up, like.
I
Okay,
think.
So Adam, explain to me how if your place holds 90,000 people.
Okay.
Explain to me financially, and what I'm saying is because this doesn't make sense to me, but
Okay.
maybe you know something. Explain to me how it would make any sense to 50-50 paper your event.
Right.
Because it looks larger, right? Obviously, and then whatever what is it, suitors, whether it be TV rights deals or
Sure.
other places in the UK that you let's say you make a tour out of it. Well, we just filled up this amount of people in this arena to pay for whatever. You could go on the merchandise sales, right? Like you could. There's different ways that you could finagle it, right?
Okay.
And then also in the live event business, right? A sellout, it doesn't, like we think as the casual fan or the more than casual fan, right? We think a sellout is every seat in the house completely sold out.
No, correct.
No, I mean, some people do. Some people do, right? But a sellout is, again, this artist, between the booking the venue, merch, not even merch, but just booking the venue and the sale prices. This is what they need to make like ends meet, and then this is how what they need to meet to basically be in the black, right? And that can only be 70% capacity, right?
Yeah.
We're always hearing how WWE or AEW specifically, right, will change the schematics. They're like, once they put the setup and whatever, here's another 1,000 seats here and whatever. Walk up ticket sales, right? So there's a couple different ways, but mainly, right, if AEW only needs to sell 70% of the tickets on the pre-sale date, right, then that's all you need, right? And then anything after that, however way you give it to your grandma, you have cats in the building, a la Teddy Hart, whatever you want to do, right? After you're in the black, you turn a profit. All of the talent hotels and travel and expenses and all of that stuff. What is that number? And once you surpass that number, there you go.
So
here's the thing.
So that's where I was going with that, because so number one, you're leaving the country, so you've got to get all your talent out of the country, your production equipment, whatever it is. And so there's a huge expense to do that.
Yeah.
WWE, having been in the business so long, has it more down to a science than a lot of other people do. And they've got equipment internationally, whatever.
Right.
But papering your audience 50%, that 10, 15%, I can see. So that will be like 9,000 or 12,000.
Right.
But I would also think that if you so heavily papered an event like that, wouldn't that devalue your so for example, you don't buy a ticket pre-sale and you wait till the day of, and you go on a Ticketmaster and all of a sudden, oh man, I got a front row seat for $9. In the future, doesn't that kind of devalue your ticket value, or incentivize people not to get pre-sale and wait till the last minute and try to cash in on cheap tickets?
Okay, so I can answer this question for you real simple.
There we
As
go.
someone who's been successful in running shows, selling out shows, to me, a sellout is I'm not giving no fucking tickets away.
Right.
Okay, because I need to make this money. Why am I going to give tickets away? Because that devalues the price in the first place. If you got a front row seat for $25 and the day of the show, I'm like, well, shit, I need to fill my building. So let me go ahead and sell these tickets for $9. So now people are going to be like, fuck paying that extra money in the beginning. I'll wait till the day of and just buy it at a discounted price.
Correct.
That's not a sellout. For me, you mentioned asses and seats. If I get a building and this is just me personally, I had a building that did 300 seats, right? So 300 seats is a sellout to everyone else. I want standing room only. I want motherfuckers paying to stand up. That to me is a sellout. when the fire marshal says, yo, you gotta start letting motherfuckers in here because the capacity is 350 and you're at 500, that's a fucking sellout. Because not only did I make money, but I made my money and I made money over that. Now I have play money. Now I have money for another event. I have money for I can play bonuses to my guys. I got money where I can secure the venue for however long I want now because I've made more money than I put out. If you say you put $500 into a venue and you think making $1,500 is acceptable, no. You put $500 in the venue, you need to get $5,000 back. That's acceptable. That's a sellout.
You'd be surprised, though. All these like business types and the whatever.
Yeah, I got to be business
like what was it? At Sam Bankman-Fried, who Bernie Madoff.
From Tony Khan's point of view, I could see him wanting to sell out that venue for two reasons.
Kind of get sidetracked up.
One, to say, "Hey, look, I did it too," and number two, it kind of gives you a little bit of leverage for when you want to come back. And somebody saying, "Oh, dude, he sold out Wembley. Oh yeah, come do my event.
Come do my
building. Come do whatever." So I mean, I get that part of it, but financially speaking, I mean, you got to spend money to make money. I get it.
Last year, Wembley Stadium boxing sold it out with 94,000 fans in attendance for boxing.
So 94,000, right? But the ticket prices and boxing. So like even Dodger Stadium, right? Dodger Stadium here in LA, right? You always hear about like, oh, we go to Dodger Stadium every game, whatever, and they play $20 tickets, right? That's not necessarily. I mean, you have like 30% of the venue spend $10 to $20 per seat, right? It's not anything. I mean, it is something, right? Because it all adds up. But when you're looking at a boxing crowd paying that deal, you're talking about $10,000 to $15,000 seats, right? I mean, 70% higher than WWE's WrestleMania. They're the Super Bowl of wrestling, theoretically speaking.
But that's the point with higher ticket prices for boxing, which is about on the same level as wrestling over in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
They sold 94,000 seats in Wembley Stadium for boxing just last year.
But that was a Tyson Fury fight that was talking about.
Yes. So AEW wrestling, they don't get wrestling as much as they get boxing over there.
Yeah.
Well, they don't get North American because I mean, obviously, there's a reason.
And that's what I'm saying. That's what's going to sell out.
Yeah. It's gonna sell out just to the fact that, oh my God, we got wrestling over here.
Yep.
The AEW's numbers in the UK TV rating wise are phenomenal.
Yeah.
Are they?
They're off the chain. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
UK's a big market.
The UK has been begging for AEW to come there because the TV ratings are so fucking popular.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's continue with the recap. So
let's
So we get the horrible trio of
Moxley, Joxley, and
the girls.
Useless.
Let's not talk about that.
Tony Storm, Rio, Ruby Soho, and Saraya.
Athena.
Okay, so here's my thing. Saraya came in, and this really is the NWO because Ruby Soho was there first. Ruby Soho was there first. Saraya comes and Tony Storm come, right? They formed this little group. Did you realize that Ruby Soho is the spokesperson for this group? She's the leader of this group.
Yeah.
That right there automatically just degrades just the credits.
Okay. What's the first question you should have asked me?
Do you care?
Where do you color your hair?
Do I care?
How do you tattoo?
Like,
no,
everything you just said, I was like, I didn't know. I didn't connect the dots, and I didn't give a fuck.
The Outcasts are the biggest. The Outcasts are the biggest faceball AEW is.
If they were the NWO of AEW, they will learn how to write with the damn spray cans. NWO can do that.
Well, you know what? That's the other thing. So you said this a number of times, like they're supposed to be the NWO. you've got to compare them to something else.
Yeah, I know,
The
because they're
bar
not
is a lot
NWO.
lower. Don't you fucking say 3MB. You got to call them something else.
I was just thinking that.
The bar is lower because
So, like,
Really mad.
they don't
Yeah, so
compare
bad
to
on that
NWO like in any way, shape, or form. Like,
So, like,
at all.
compare them to like Jinder Mahal and the Bollywood Boys.
No.
the
Anyway, the
Shields.
point I'm making about this whole thing is they're AEW's version of Damage Control. And they're losers. They keep losing. They attack people. They spray paint people, but they fucking lose when it comes down to it.
So
Tonight
you're saying Damage Control.
Tonight we had a very good women's world title match.
Yeah,
Jamie Hayter and Riho. Look, Riho weighs like 100 pounds soaking wet with boots on and shoulder pads.
And if you want to make fun of Rio right now, shut the fuck up.
And she put on a phenomenal match. And she took two Haterade lines, those Haterade clotheslines. This was how a woman this was like Roman and Cody. It was such a good match that it would almost been bad if they got fucked over in the end. The only difference is the right person won this match. Jamie Hayter won the match. She shook her hand and said, "I appreciate you."
Point of honor.
And it was a really good fucking women's match. Like, it was a match I was like, dude, do I want it to end? Like, do I want it to continue? Like, nah, it went 12 minutes. It was a perfect 12 minutes of a championship match.
Yeah.
The champion actually looked like she was going to lose. And then she rallied back and was like, nah, bitch, I'm the champ. No shenanigans. There was no outside interference. None of that bullshit. It was a good fucking solid match. Tony Khan needs to do this shit every week. He needs to have good, solid women's matches and get rid of the horseshit bullshit that he does week after week after week.
The only thing about it, you could, again, right now in 2023 wrestling terms, a good match, a great match even, is the most commonly traded commodity in all the wrestling promotions. You can get one at your local indie, which is amazing. You can get one in the big leagues in AEW week to week, month to month, year over year, right? So having a great match, I'm sorry, it's not improving AEW's ratings, right? I mean, who's it benefiting? And especially when you had like the Ring of Honor kind of mishap with Penta and one of the Martin brothers, right? So a great match, what does that do other than injure the wrestlers faster?
It keeps AEW's core audience coming back.
Yep.
So
that's what it does.
You know what? So I do agree with that, but I think what I see what Tony Khan is doing. Tony Khan is hot shotting, and he's been hot shotting ever since the start.
Day one, yeah.
However, if he were to do more of the territory system, where you brought in the big bad or the big baby face for a 3-month run, 4-month run, let them run their program, and then let them go do whatever, that would probably make more sense. Because the problem that Adam is having, and like what I'm having, is that it's these one-shot great matches or one-shot dream matches that have zero story behind us, so people aren't getting invested.
Now, I agree with that. But here's the thing about the Rio match.
It's like seeing the car crash at Slauson and La Cienega versus two cars racing, and then you see them crash.
Right.
But here's the story. But here's the thing about that. If you really pay attention to the wrestling in AEW, they kept mentioning how Riho was the first champion. But they also mentioned that in Stardom, Riho had a feud with Tony Storm, with Jamie Hayter. So there's your history right there.
Okay, but who?
Here's the thing.
Who even knows, like, beyond
someone like you would know that because you are a wrestling.
Yeah, no, I agree. But again, if AEW is going to grow, and AEW is going to grow to an extent from now to August, WrestleMania week, the week of the Endeavor UFC merger, right? That week, the week of MJF getting the key to the damn city, right, of Long Island or what have you. All of that from here to August, you got to fill up a major football stadium over in the UK, right? I don't think that happens just doing, like, imagine you're somebody, I don't know, pick a name. You're, what's his name? Action Andretti, right? You're Danhausen, right? And you see 2 weeks in a row that like Vikingo and Commander get very notable slots on 2 hours of TV, right? They jump the line, right? If you're not in a world title program, you want to be in the main event of a national, international TV show, right? You see two guys that are from outside of the company come in and stomp on you. If you're using like, I don't know, the Acolytes, APA, circa what, 96, 97, right? With the Public Enemy. Yeah. if you're Action Andretti, you want to kick the shit out of Vikingo and Commander. Like, it doesn't make any sense. No?
Okay.
So
Okay, so wait. I'm gonna refute that real quick. You're right, that doesn't make any sense. Like Cody Rhodes teaming up with Brock Lesnar and Brock Lesnar turning on him 2 seconds into the main event of the fucking Monday Night Raw to WrestleMania. That didn't make any sense.
You know exactly
right?
what that is, though. It's Vince booking, right?
So
regardless of who's the booking, that made no sense.
Yeah.
So you can say it's okay for
Lesnar
WWE to do it, but if AEW does it,
no. But Brock Lesnar is a big star. Cody Rhodes is a big star. They both respectively have main evented WrestleManias in world title programs, right? So I can see that. They didn't, if Cody Rhodes came outside of the company and went straight to fucking Mania without doing the traditional WWE of winning the Rumble or one of the attaches, the brass rings, if you will.
Yeah.
Right? And just walks in and has a great match and gets the fuck out and never to be mentioned again. That's the difference.
Okay. But in the grand scheme of things, you're right about that. So you're talking about stories. You want to build stories to build to that thing, right? So they did this story with Cody. They built Cody all the way up from Rumble. He tore his pectoral. Then they put Sammy in that position. And then, Cody's healed. They threw Cody right back into it. They get him at Mania. They do the whole thing. Then they bring Brock Lesnar right back to do the same shit that just destroys a whole 7 months of story because he's Brock Lesnar. And that makes it okay?
But there's a big asterisk, and the one thing that you're overlooking. In any other week, in any other year, what you're saying is true. What you're saying is true. But again, the big asterisk, literally within a week, right? From SmackDown in the Hall of Fame, which Julian went to, right? To Monday Raw, a seismic, cataclysmic change in booking and philosophy happened within 72 hours. That basically ended up with the end result of what we ended up getting, and a lackluster Raw after Mania, which for the last 10 years, or the better part of 10 years, has been a can't-miss event. So if you're somebody who lives in the UK, somebody that AEW is banking on being over there and supporting them, well, you flew out to Mania, right? And you've done the whole thing. You went to the Superstore. You went to Undertaker's one-man show. You spent $10,000 on just tickets alone from Thursday to Monday, right? Let alone the ticket. I mean, your plane ticket. Let alone your hotel fee, right? And you stayed for Raw for Mania, or after Mania. And none of the things. If you're an LA fan, LA Knight fan, from the UK, and you flew over, and I'm like, well, he didn't get put. I mean, he got put in a shit ass Royal Rumble, Andre the Giant, whatever the fuck, on Friday night. Well, and he doesn't get booked on Mania either night. Well, for sure he'll be on Monday night. That doesn't happen, right? Because of Vince, right? There's a seismic change. So again, in this instance, where you're talking about Brock and Cody kind of doing the same shit or whatever, or Vince or the WWE booking the same shit, again, it's reminiscent of pre-Vince, illegal paralegal, right? But now it's a new day, to quote the New Day. So again, what I say is where Tony Khan is going doesn't show me, and you don't have to show anything to me, Tony Khan. But what I'm saying is you have now until August to book credible storylines to fill a stadium in a country where you have a football team. Let's see what you can do, because it's not like they're selling out Jacksonville, a stadium that they own, because of the Jaguars, right? They're not doing that here. So let's see if they can replicate it. Historically speaking, it hasn't shown itself to be true, but I hope I'm wrong.
Here's the thing. AEW kind of has a double-edged sword right now because for 20-some years, WWE has been the only game in town. So WWE has built into the wrestling audience of what wrestling's perceived to be, the WWE view of the wrestling. AEW came along as an alternative to WWE. Because of that programming that WWE has built into people for the last 20-some years, that alternative only has a core fan base that now they have to try to build upon. But when they do anything that's WWE-like, you have that core audience complaining, oh, what the hell? They're booking like WWE. This is something WWE would do.
That's absolutely true.
And then when they're not doing things, when they are an actual alternative to WWE, you have WWE fans shitting on them. Oh, this isn't how wrestling's supposed to be. This isn't how wrestling's supposed to go. Wrestling's supposed to be like this because that's what Vince has beat into their head in the past 20 years. Julian mentioned having a champion come in like the territorial days for 3 months. If they did that, people would shit on it because they're used to that WWE of seeing someone every week. Like right now, they bitch for how long because Brock was a part-time champion. Because they were so used to having a champion that was there every single week with Stone Cold, The Rock, all that, John Cena. If you look back in the territory days, you were lucky to see the champion once a month.
Yeah.
And it was only at the big shows. But Vince has taken that and changed it into what he wants it to be. So now
and
you have
begins again.
And it all begins, and that's exactly what it is. So AEW
because of the way Vince kind of broke the territories, you didn't have champions coming in with the belt anymore. You had them coming in with nothing,
right?
And if you're not, and a lot of your national, for example, Bad News Allen,
right?
He came in, and a lot of people were like, "Who's this bald-headed black guy with the Chicago sewer rats?"
But
when Bad News Allen had been all throughout the South, all through Memphis, all these other territories, and so if you're in California watching, you're like, "Who is this guy?" But if you were in the South watching, you know exactly who he is.
Well, even during the hype of Hulkamania, how often did you see Hulk Hogan defend the title on TV? Very rarely.
It had to be a Saturday Night's Main Event.
Yeah.
It had to be a Saturday Night
Exactly. Yeah. He wasn't on Superstars.
He wasn't on Wrestling Challenge.
Nothing like that.
He was on Wrestling Challenge, and he defended against some jobber, some fat
couple
dude.
times.
Yeah.
So you're talking about
I'm talking about Vicky Guerrero. I'm talking major exceptions here.
I'm not a negative. Blackheart asked about Vicky Guerrero. We're talking about what she said on Twitter about the comments she made about her daughter or stepdaughter, whoever the girl was.
There's two sides of each story.
There's two sides of each story, man. There's three sides of a story.
No, yeah.
There's her side, there's Vicky's side, and there's the truth.
I will say in Vicky Guerrero's statement, she never said, "Hey, this did not happen."
Yep.
She only attacked her daughter.
Yep.
She did not give any facts about this did not happen.
Probably has.
Wait, what?
She just said, "My daughter has mental issues." So, Vicky and Eddie's daughter, Shaylin, came out and said that she was sexually assaulted by Vicky Guerrero's husband a few years ago while on a cruise.
What?
Yeah, and Chavo Guerrero came out and said, "Yes, I have known about this for some time. I stand beside my niece in this." So, and then Vicky released a statement today where she pretty much
Shaw or Sherilyn?
Sherilyn.
What?
And then Vicky had pretty much released a statement today where she did not deny one fact that Shaylin said, but she did say she just attacked her daughter.
She was like, I tried to give her help, but she didn't fucking want it.
Right.
Wow.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing that really bothered. She said you had multiple men in your room over that weekend. She never said her husband wasn't one of them.
Yeah.
So.
Wow, this is wild.
Yeah, it was crazy, dude.
Yes.
Yeah. That's a story for another day.
That's its own episode.
Yeah, that's a whole episode. Then we get to our main event. Our main event is for the AEW World Tag Team Championships versus the careers of FTR. And what did I tell you guys 2 weeks ago when this shit came about?
Wait,
FTR ain't fucking going nowhere.
what did I say when the Guns won the title? I was on the show when the Guns won the title, and I said they only gave it to them so FTR can take it off of them.
And yep, so FTR didn't have to face another face team like the Acclaim. That's it. So now FTR are now your new AEW World Tag Team Champions, and it was actually a pretty good match.
Oh yeah.
It's not a 7-star FTR match.
No.
It was more like 2 stars. It was like 2 stars in the Compton Swap Meet, 1.5 star at the Anaheim Marketplace. Yeah.
I did like how the Guns kept trying to get disqualified.
Oh, yeah.
I know, but they fucked that up though.
The referee was played into the.
There were three different times, and the most notable that I can remember
was the belt drop to the
trying to hit one of the FTR guys with the belt, and it fucked up.
When he pulled the belt, he pulled the second belt in, and Dax came off the top rope and was supposed to hit his head on the belt. But it was like a cool ass. It was like that horrible ass Trio Wolf spot at NXT this weekend. It was like Dax was like 2 feet away from him, but sold the bump.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It was a Tower of Doom spot.
The funny part to me in that spot was when the second belt gets slid in the ring, like Dax was looking right at it. I was like,
right.
Yeah.
And then they said on commentary, Dax doesn't know he has a belt. Like he literally sat on the top rope.
Fucking looking right at it.
He literally sat there and watched him slide it in. I mean, you know what? We said it earlier. It's not that this was a bad FTR match. You just
it wasn't a good match. It wasn't a bad match.
This is like Snow opening for Prince. I mean, there's just some things that just aren't going to happen.
I mean, this is
like lickety boom boom down.
Like this match. This match was just a necessary evil to not have to have the FTR wrestle the Acclaim, and it was a necessary evil to get us to FTR and the Young Bucks again.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I mean, the Guns just this is a clear example of an inexperienced tag team wrestling with a very experienced tag team.
Right.
And just, this is like me and Bret Hart not putting on a 7-star technical classic.
With Tom McGee.
I was just about to say, Bret Hart and Tom McGee.
Yeah.
Bret Hart and Tom, yeah, you're right about that. It wasn't as bad as Goldberg and Steven Regal, but I mean,
that's a 5-star match.
It's not Goldberg's fault Steven Regal wasn't on his level.
Yes, it is. It's exactly his fault. And still wasn't on his level 20 years later when he fucking damn near killed the dead man, which is funny.
True. Big true. So that's pretty much that, man.
That was the show.
If I had to give it a star rating, I would give it 3 out of 5 stars because
3 out of 5.
it progressed a lot of things. There were a couple announcements that actually this time were actually pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
Because Tony is like, I got this fucking Hall of Fame level superstar that the world has been waiting for. And then Christian Cage. Like, wait, what?
I was expecting
he in the Hall of Fame? Christian?
No.
Oh, he should be.
I was expecting like the big announcement to be like the Brooklyn Brawler is signed with AEW.
Oh, I know.
You know what? I actually thought that Tony Khan buys Impact and Invicta, from Anthem, right? To kind of circumvent the WWE UFC news. I was like, I can buy another wrestling company and another, all-female women's promotion and shit like that.
If Tony Khan made a massive announcement and he hyped it up, the announcement should have been, AEW Rampage is moving to 8 o'clock on the USA Network on Monday nights. That would have been big fucking news.
Right. Look, I was expecting the big news to be like, we bought Bellator. So, look, we have MMA too.
I don't think they'll buy Bellator, but I think Invicta is more like Anthem opened Canada that own the Fight Network. They own Impact Wrestling as well as Invicta, the preeminent all-female women's MMA promotion.
Yeah.
I think that's a little bit more in the, I guess,
that's the IFL, right?
Huh?
That's the IFL, right?
No, Invicta.
IFL
is, I mean, that was back in the day. That was the International Fight League, right? With like Savant Young and no, it's not that. Invicta is where like Chris Cyborg was the 145
that's
women's
right.
champion. Yeah, like I mean, it's still going. You could catch their fights on their YouTube page, which I strongly suggest anybody do. That's my favorite MMA promotion. I think women's MMA, even after Chris Cyborg and Ronda Rousey and Amanda Nunes, is still in many respects the same way that UFC and a large part of No Holds Barred, later to become MMA, was in the early 90s. So, and if you want finishing rates, KOs, and submission, they happen more, statistically speaking, in Invicta than they do in Bellator or the UFC, respectively. So that's what I thought was going to happen. And especially as Tony Khan was kind of alluding that him and his dad were in the hunt to buy WWE, right? I think, to kind of save face, why don't you just go ahead and buy another wrestling company and an MMA promotion? Why the fuck not?
I mean, he already bought Ring of Honor. He can't keep buying wrestling companies. We got nothing to do with them.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
he ain't doing shit with Ring of Honor.
Wait. When we were at Wembley with Impact Wrestling represented, and that's the major announcement for Wembley, is like going into, I've acquired, and they show up on Impact or whatever, and that week's Impact will be in the UK.
So 5 people will see it?
Yeah.
Okay, that's 5 more people than they had
before.
before.
Us right here will be the only ones that see it.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
that's okay.
So what I'm getting here is WWE is once again copying TNA by being owned by a company that also owns an MMA company. Jeff Jarrett wins again.
That works. That's absolutely accurate.
Jeff Jarrett
and with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us here on the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast. For the man who sins on Sunday, for that guy who loves Shibata's penis, for the Maharaja of MMA, and the man who likes to bring midgets into every trivia pursuit. I'm with the franchise. We will see you guys on Friday. Well, they'll probably see you on Friday because I will be on a plane somewhere going to do my thing.
You gonna go see Shibata?